Greetings once again, heroes and villains out there. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with more of My Hero Academia, where previously we finally have it, the showdown of our heroes and our villains, as Aizawa's plan is finally shown. Continue having it seem as though Class 1A as well as the heroes are searching in vain for All For One. But unbeknownst to All For One, Shinso has gained the ability to not just control people's rudimentary actions, but also get them to talk as well. Through the use of brainwashing, he was able to manipulate the Aoyama family in contacting All For One, subverting his lie detection ability. Meanwhile, Monoma is brought to Kirigiri in order to copy his warp gate abilities, which has a longer radius than the weird sludge transfer ability that All For One has. Eraserhead will not be much help in this battle, as having lost one of his eyes, his ability barely even functioned. But with all the villains now before them, the capture system Troy is activated, imprisoning the various villains in cages, and thanks to Monoma, the heroes intend to push the cages through various warp gates in different locations. While the villains try to break free of the cages, the heroes successfully push them through. Fat Gum remains on the primary field, commanding the hero forces there, cleaning up any villains who weren't put in cages. All For One and several Nomu are sent to the Gunga Mountain Villa that previously he had explode, going up against the heroes led by Endeavor and Hawks. Dabi and some Nomu are sent to the Camino Ward, where they face off against Shoto, Ingenium, and Burnet. Tomura is sent to a now floating UA, codename Coffin in the Sky, which that ain't ominous, with the intent being that he'd take on Deku, supported by Bakugo, Genists, and several others. Unfortunately, Bakugo notes that Deku was sent through another gate, being pulled forcefully. It's later that we find out that it was Himiko Toga who pulled him through to her battlefield, next to an aquarium, where Ochako, Froppy, and Gang Orca are. And so, Bakugo and the others have to do their best against Tomura Shigaraki without Deku. But they still came prepared to this fight, with the floor being able to pop off and segment off to disperse Tomura's decay. Should Tomura try to escape, an electromagnetic barrier encloses the surrounding battlefield. Seriously, great locale for a fighting game. The whole thing is being maintained by Power Loader, Cementos, and Hatsume, as well as some other development course students. Yaoyorozu continues to create raw materials from her body, with plenty of food coming in from Food Rush. Or was it Lunch Rush? The electrical systems being powered by Kaminari, Manga Fukudashi, as well as several other electrically themed heroes. Meanwhile, Monoma, now being empowered by constant contact with Aizawa, is using Erasure in order to stop Tomura Shigaraki's abilities, with his eyes being moisturized by Manual. Not all heroes wear capes, but some of them moisturize. But while the heroes go in for the attack, suddenly Tomura starts sprouting monstrous globs of fleshy fingers all over the place, using them as, well, blunt instruments to attack, specifically an attacking Mirko. The odd natural abilities that have been implanted into his very DNA that don't even classify as quirks are gonna serve as the biggest obstacle our heroes face. And since most of their plan revolved around Deku, they're at even more of a disadvantage. Will everything go according to plan when already one thing is out of place? Join me as I find out, won't you? 3 days ago, League of Villains. This is something we have to do whether it's plan A or plan B. We have to split them up based on the data from the fight with Star and Stripe. Tomura Shigaraki is currently much more powerful than All For One. As for All For One, those of you who saw the battle at Kamina should already know how strong he is. Plus, in addition to their contract using radio waves, there's the shared consciousness they showed us in the attack on Tartarus. We don't know how much they actually share yet, so if they come at us together, we cannot win. And why didn't they use that against Star? He was probably trying to avoid her calling his name, since with New Order's rules saying all for one would probably have worked. For this second decisive battle, we should keep them at least 10 kilometers apart. That's the minimum prerequisite set for us to win. Of course, the other side will be moving their pieces so that doesn't happen. That's exactly right, Tsukuchi. The fierce fire that spread and burns everything up. The threat we clearly experienced at the train camp in Mountain Villa, as having Dabi in the vanguard will stop us in our track. So then in order to keep separate All for One and Shigaraki, you have to separate Dabi. Not just Dabi. Right. Everyone. We need to separate the enemy's main forces and crush each and every one of them. In order to do that, we need to lure out the enemy. First, we need to use young Shinso's brainwashing to make young Aoyama and his family act and draw the enemy out without them noticing. Then we'll use System Troy to split them up. Out of that, young Monoma, who has used copy to get Kurigiri's warp, will transport the villains to the places we want them. We need 5 locations for splitting them up. We'll transport the greatest villain, Shigaraki, to UA's Coffin in the Sky, which is able to deal with his decay. Then we will have young Monoma copy Aizawa's erasure. Seriously, Monoma is such a linchpin in all of this, because first we need him to copy Kurigiri's quirk, then we need him to copy Aizawa's quirk to prevent Shigaraki from using his quirk. The offense will center around young Midoriya and include high-ranking heroes, but like Best Jeanist, Edgeshot, and Mirka. In the same way, we will transfer All for One's body to Gunga Villa and send out a team formed around Endeavor and Hawks to deal with him. We will transport the Madman Dabi to Kamino Ward Ground Zero. See, it's locations that are already cleared out from devastation. That's actually really good. We'll send a team with young Todoroki and Endeavor sidekicks with their ability to deal with fire at the center, which is such a smart plan. People who deal with the intense flames and heat all the time. Because it's hard to predict what Himika Toga will do, which is hilarious considering she completely rooted their efforts by pulling Deku away. We'll isolate her on the outlying island, Okuto Island, and form a team around Gang Orca and young Uraraka and young Asui joining them. You gotta love how we just have a random member of Orca's team there. You could have put Silky there if you put Sirius in that lineup as well, if they have experience fighting Himika Toga. Actually, yeah, that's a good point too. Uraraka and Froppy have dealt with Toga multiple times. The remaining villains will be transferred to Tokoba National Stadium and the rest. The characters whose abilities are a little less on the practical side. More combative, but not combatively interestingly enough to dedicate anything to them. For those villains we were unable to split up, we'll continue to use System Troy and attack with the remaining hero teams. Moreover, there is a strong chance that Gigantomachia, held at the site of Jaku Hospital, and Kurigiri, held at Central Hospital, will be next on All for One's list to recover after Shigaraki's re-emergence. So we've posted people at each of those places too. We will carry out the operation in parallel at each of these 8 locations. Talk about spreading yourself thin. This is a plan that Tsukuchi, Aizawa, and I came up with for this second decisive battle. Good stuff. Just in case you missed anything, let's just lay it all out in the guise of the actual plan being laid out. Good stuff. Good stuff. I wish you would stop laughing like that. You don't like erasure, right, Mr. Last Boss? Don't move, you'll be out of position. I can't move, but as long as I keep contact with him like this, Mono can use copy past this limit of 5 minutes. We're supposed to create an advantage situation for Midoriya like this, with him at the center of the operation. But this is bad. Midoriya is not here. Ooh, Dynamite, what's that? What can you tell us? Dunno, never seen it. Ooh. I hate saying this, but, well, Mirko got fingered, and not in the way most people would have liked. I thought you were cool. I'm really disappointed. Eraserhead. Oh, CGI, no! It's even creepier. What the hell is this? Jeez. Phantom Thief. I'm watching him. Eraser should be activated. And it's not a quirk? Ugh. See, this is something they had to do with CG. And yet Horikoshi in the manga was just drawing all these fingers. It's just it's an artist's nightmare. God. This is growth. Just my physical body. Bullshit. Like hair growing. Like nails growing. In order to deal with the deepening of quirks. My body has acquired a new form. Ugh, it's where superhuman society is heading. The singularity that Garaki proposed. You people who have covered it up and turn your back on the expecting future can't understand. I would not want to understand that. There. Jeez. Just re-equipping. Dynamite. This team was formed to fight, so get a hold of yourself. It's Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite. You should stop charging straight into things. Huh? You're a cocky one, aren't you? What? You want to fight, bunny gal? Focus. What? They are the same person. Like, anyone who's just like, what would a female Bakugo be? You don't really have to question that. That's Mirko. You're supposed to say, sure. It's Aizawa. I'm doing this right. I swear it's not because I'm making a mistake. I know that those hands. Eraser, Midoriya's calling. What are you doing, Class A? Where are you, Midoriya? I'm sorry. Himiko Toga. Okuto Island. Okuto Island. Request warped. You have to get Midoriya back with warp. No, you can't. Mono can't copy more than one quirk at a time. It'd take about 10 seconds to switch from Eraser to warp and bring Midoriya back. Eraser, you get it, right? Those hands are multiplying infinitely. If everyone is able to use decay, yeah, then it'll be checkmate the instant Erasure is released, right? All that, all using Erasure. God, it would be devastating. I remember thinking that in the manga. It's just like, Jesus Christ. You've seen him destroy cities in an instant. With this ability, the whole of Japan would be gone within a matter of a day or two. And sorry, but you need to get back here on your own. Bummer ride. We'll hold Shiraki back until then. We'll have Deku get back on his own. Wait, the hell is that? Oh, it was Mandalay using her abilities. Oh, God, I forgot. For some reason, I'm like, okay, they have communicators or something when they touch their ears. Like, no, Yorub, it's Mandalay. Why do you think she's here? It took me a second to really understand that. He essentially ended up in the same position that Ino and her dad were in Naruto. Again, practical abilities. I ain't mad at it. Honestly, I'm more impressed with mangaka who can keep square what character can do what and how that would actually benefit the whole. Even if they're not a combative, practical ability. Even without one for all. You can win this. Sure, best. Yeah. I love that. Sun Eater was trying to just be like, sure, best. But everybody else is just like, yeah. And it's just like, oh, yeah. Inflation. This category on most websites you don't want to look up. Okuto Island. See, it's hard for me not to think that this is the location of that one movie. What was it, Heroes Rising? That would have been a nice reference, but oh well. 200 kilometers off the coast in the Pacific Ocean is Okuto Island. This southern island with wide beaches has beautiful resorts along the horizon. Yeah. That's a place I'm never going to get to go. Closest thing I've ever been to is Barbados. The showpiece of the island, Okuto Aquarium, brings tourists from around Japan and the world. Kugo Shakamata, also known as Gang Orca, is the director of the aquarium. What the hell? I'll remember that. They're coming. Dodge. Jeez. Ugh. Gross. Plus, these guys are way stronger than the ones for Jaku. Don't back down. Nice. God, that's freaky. That Nomu. Did it get even more croaks from All for One? Oh, moonfish. Meat. There are jailbreakers too. Don't lose focus. These attacks are even making it to the rear guard. Ruffy, are you okay? Yes, but that last attack got Uravity and Deku. Nice. Deku, what did Mr. Aizawa say? He said I had to get back by myself. If they can't use warp, it means they're in a touch-and-go situation. Then you need to hurry. Oh, watch out. Coming in with those assassin moves. I swear to you, I wasn't trying to look up her skirt. I swear. Don't go, Izuku. I love you. But please don't go, Toga. There was no reaction from Fourth, even though I was almost stabbed by her knife. Her danger isn't recognized as actual danger, which is a wild concept. It's kind of like how Venom doesn't set off Spider-Man's spider sense. I cannot believe someone like her exists and has lived until today. Yeah, really does say a lot about her personality. Himiko Toga, what do you want me to do? I want you to be my boyfriend. He feels genuine affection when she hurts people. Yeah, it's a hell of a concept. One that I will say, even though we explored a good amount here in the series, hey, you could make a whole manga centered around it. Toga's personality. Like, seriously. In another life when she could have been the main character or something. Jeez, that's so wild. Oh god. Izuku Midoriya is the ninth wielder of One for All, and is the most important asset in this battle. All for One is his arch enemy, who has been maneuvering behind the scenes in Japan and around the world since superhuman society began, which is like 100 years or so. So wild. He is the vessel for the only power All for One is fixated on. He has had a number of chance meetings with Himiko Toga, but she's never told him her feelings directly. Yep, so he didn't realize that she liked him. Yeah, so about that. Boyfriend. What did you say? He has never been actually confessed to. No matter where he goes, he's still a damned Look, you don't expect something like that. I mean, relationships are already complicated enough without the person you're being courted by frequently seemingly trying to kill you, mostly trying to kill you, super trying to kill your friends. And she's a known murderer. Yeah, I like you. I have ever since I first saw you. You were so bloody and broken. You gotta love how that's her prerequisite. You look just like my first crush. Yeah, you're so cool, Izuku. There's the face. I want to be you. Let me suck your blood. Boyfriend, you mean you want to go to the music park and hold hands and share a crepe, right? Oh, the innocence of your young mind. I love it. To me, it means to become the same. That's the only way I can be satisfied. Another attack coming. Dodge! Hey, hero. What do you want to do to me? Oh, she's gone. Hey, what do you want to do to me? She did it again. Her ability to erase her presence means I'm a step behind in a free-for-all. Major Sense can't even sense it. The worst matchup in a way. I don't know. I also thought that I wanted to be strong like All Might. I understand the feeling of fulfillment from trying to be the same, Himiko Toga. But then, why don't you want your feelings to become the same too? I don't want to hurt someone I love. Bang. Oof. Toga has the most interesting expressions in this entire series. To go from that last big demonic looking smile she had before to this one of just sheer melancholy. I don't know. Especially now that I've finished the manga, it's like, Toga is definitely someone who should be punished, but Toga's story is one that should never be repeated. It's too sad. As someone who was desperate for love for a long time till I finally found the right person, it's heartbreaking. I feel sad for the circumstances. A little less so for the person, but still. Why can't you just be normal? Just live a normal life. And unfortunately, a girl who killed who you were through the suppression of your new meta powers. If you're going to live as you like and threaten people, then you need to accept the responsibility for your actions. Yeah, goddamn. It really is a question of what it just means to be who you are, even if what comes naturally to you seen as something so bad by others. I've said it before, it's like, was there a way for Toga to live a normal life? What would that have entailed? We've seen it so much throughout this series, and I kind of wish we could have highlighted a lot more with, Shinso, who even said his ability would be something seen for a villain, but he fought to get to a place where he could use it to help people and found other ways and other skills in order to still be a good person. If she had had people supporting her in her life that helped her find other ways or something, someone who just kind of understood her, could she have lived a better life? I guess that's what fan fiction is for, Izuku, you're the same as Ochako, aren't you? The same as mommy and daddy. I started to think about Himiko Toga all of a sudden. She looked really sad. And they can't really ignore it because it isn't... Yes, it's wrong, but it's not just coming from a place of malice. That's the thing. That's the difference. And the moment you recognize that she is a kid who is hurting, who needed help and never got that help and just kept lashing out, it's hard not to have at least a little empathy for that. Again, not saying that she should never be punished. That she killed a lot of people. She needs to be locked up. And depending on the frame of the law, But it really is kind of sad because it's a situation where a lot of bloodshed could have been avoided with more understanding from those around her. I'm sorry, I keep getting caught up on this. I guess that's just the mark of resonating with certain aspects of a story. Only heroes and those they protect are people, huh? So we can't associate with each other. Ooh. Oh, that's how it looks when they move. Wait, Himiko Toga. Oh, I've been thinking about you ever since that day. I didn't think about you anymore. I thought maybe Izuku would have understood, but I don't care anymore. Uraraka, if the world rejects me, then I'll reject the world. Ugh, Ochaka, I'm sad. And there it is. The sad thing is, despite everything, Toga was not fully a villain until this moment. Not by her standards, at least. But now, she is dedicated to it. Ochaka said, ooh, I thought maybe you'd understand, because you and I like the same. Oof, that's it, Fruffy. Sorry I couldn't get here sooner. Are you hurt? I'm fine, it's just a scratch. Retrieve the knife. It's got blood on it. She's the most unpredictable opponent. That's why we put her on an outlying island, but now it backfired. Weird that she could cut through that with a knife. Dude, go Deku. You have better things to do than talk about love here, don't you? As planned, we'll take care of this. With Aravity and me at the center since we've interacted the most with Himiko Toga. Deku, take care of Shigaraki. Then, we're both weird, right? Yeah. I didn't dwell on this enough in the manga, but maybe it's the hindsight, but I'm glad Deku was here for this. I'm glad Deku got to have this moment. Yeah, it screwed up a lot of things, but I'm glad he was here. Uraraka, let's do our best. It's hard to live, even though I love him so much. Go. 7th, float. 3rd, Bajin. There he goes. God damn. I'll use Air Force to propel and balance me. It's so slow. There's nothing for Black Whip to pull on over the ocean. If I could use Black Whip and Phlox 100%, it'd be so much faster. Hurry, hurry. You're frustrated. It's clouding your judgment. Those reinforcement parts can't cover one for all at 100%, right? Are you planning on injuring yourself before reaching the battlefield? No. Or were you planning to use my meta power? Nope. Yes. I thought we told you this was meant to be a last resort. As one for all grew stronger, our meta powers grew stronger with it. As a result, it is transformed into a unique power. It's not something that can be used the same way it was used in the past. Don't be reckless. This is a battle for the future. Believe in your friends. Everyone is different. You should focus on your own battlefield. I also find it ironic that Deku is someone who tends to over-explain a lot in his own head. Has multiple people he could have conversations with in his mind as well. Jeez, you left. Good. I don't think Midori could ignore her. Yeah. See the acknowledgement that Toga's a different kind of battle. Yeah, she's a villain who needs to be defeated, but as people with a lot of empathy, it's also hard to ignore. He's also someone who is very much hurting and lashing out. Besides, I couldn't stand for a precious secret to be revealed like that. Enough. I love Izuku and Ochaka and Sue, but this is enough. I want to be who I want to be. I just want to live in a way that makes sense to me, right? Hey, Jin, I am Himiko Toga. I don't need heroes, so go away. Goodbye. No, I'm gonna do what makes sense to me too, as Ochaka Uraraka. It's sad, because what makes sense to you isn't always what's right. Oh, sorry, I'm trying real hard not to get emotional about it. I'm too lost in the sauce, man. I'm too lost in the sauce. Giving way too much away. Kamino Ward. Kanagawa. Oh, the Kanagawa Prefecture, right. The heroes' numbers were already low, and now they're getting even lower. Yeah, not a great turnout. Oh, jeez. The gnomos appeared with a sea of flames around them. Freaking cactus. The worst kind of cactar. Dark cactar. It was only a little while ago, but it already feels like a distant memory. Oh yeah. I started acting after seeing the battle at Hosen. Reminiscing. Shoto! It's hot. Abnormally hot. Yeah, I wonder, does your suit have a cooling system? I guess mostly for your lower engines. My engine won't work. I can't get any closer. Oh, sorry. Just talking to myself. I love the rising swoosh sound of Oh, I freaking love this series. Say what you will about it, but this series. Just talking to myself. He's not looking at me again. That really brings me down. I can't believe he didn't come himself, but he sent his third son and his sidekicks instead. Daddy never looks at me. I mean, it is one kid's tantrum. I will say I feel a little bit less bad for Dobby than I do Toga, just because of the sheer amount of malice behind a lot of what he did. I guess this is his answer to me. Let's fall together, Enji Todoroki. Come dance with me in hell. I really can't win, huh? Kido, get back. You don't have a heat-resistant body, do you? It's okay. I can change the trajectory of anything. It's nothing once I change the trajectory of the air around me. Just the usual. Cool-headed and logical. I've been doing it like this for 10 years. Oh, geez. Oh, I don't remember a moment like this. For Kido, as usual, I want to follow that old man's orders, so I do it. And if he's a smelly old guy with family problems, there were no lies in his work, past to present. Old Smelly Armpits has entrusted what? What a name. We'll support you with everything we've got. Thank you very much, Burning. No need to waste energy thanking us. Tell ya, Dobby, don't get the wrong idea. I'm not standing here because I was told to. I'm here because I want to stop you myself. You're just being the pawn that Dad wants. I would have been if I'd ignored you and kept being a hero. That's true. In the end, this battle is one person against another. It's not a bunch of soldiers acting on someone's orders. It's a result of each person's feelings getting let out. I want to live freely. I want to change the world around me. I want to destroy. Oh, I feel so stupid getting emotional about all that, but yeah, it's all that pain and hurt and desperation. For some people, they're able to kind of move past a lot of that or just let it out in different ways or put it behind them. But for a lot of these guys, they lashed out in the worst kind of ways and it ended up hurting a lot of the people around them. But it's a thing that really happened. Different people can only handle so much. What might seem like, oh, they should have just got over it to you, can be the very last straw. One bad day for someone could just be, it's just another bad day. But for someone else, it might be the very last bad day before I make it everyone's bad day. And all you have to think about is one little German artist who just wanted to paint. Doesn't excuse anything, but kindness could have avoided a whole lot. The overlooked statements and distortions that have accumulated all over the place. Superhuman society has reached its limit. That's me. That's us. If you survive, why didn't you come home? You want to know? And I'll tell you. Even like this, I'm still your big brother. Oh God, how I became Dobby. The reason I was able to keep living. God, that was disturbing in the manga, and it's disturbing here. You could hear the sound of his stitches just falling off, and gee, the reason I was able to keep living without exterminating a fire stronger than yours. I'm trying so hard not to just give away a whole bunch of stuff, but man, Horikoshi really knew what he was going for. There are a lot of people I watch who feel that Horikoshi was spinning his wheels or should have just ended it a lot sooner, but I feel like there was something he was trying to get at with all of this. And now watching this, after getting to the end, it's like, I get it. It's a hell of a statement. And I really hope that later on when some people revisit it, they're able to see it a little bit more clearly. Yeah, things that Horikoshi did could have been much, much better, but I still feel it's a damn good story. A story about a lot of people who dealt with hurt in a lot of different ways. I don't think I'm gonna be okay at the end of all of this. I really don't. I really don't.